Hello, how's it going? All right, just kicking off the streams here. All right. There I am on YouTube. There I am on Facebook, I think. Yep, watching a dancing bear. There we go. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the weekly Wednesday lunchtime live stream on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. I'm DDO's Community Manager Cordovan. I'll be with you for the next hour here. And we're just going to be on we're on Galanda, rather, for week 1 of 2. And we're going to be running around in House Caneth doing the prereqs for the Lord of Blades and Master Artificer. I actually have a question out to the team about whether or not we're going to need to flag for the legendary versions of Master Artificer and Lord of Blades that are coming soon to the game with the next update. I actually forgot to ask before going live today. I was going to do that, and then I forgot. I just got a little busy with other stuff going on in the studio. So there you go. But maybe I'll get an answer during the live stream here, and I can get that information to you. But at the very least, House Caneth is going to be back in the spotlight here with update 47, with the Lord of Blades and Master Artificer getting legendary versions along with Vision of Destruction. We've been doing some internal play days on said legendary versions of the raid this week here on the team. So we had 12 DDO devs all working on getting the raid kind of first pass done, as it were. And things are looking pretty strong, actually. Looking pretty good. We have a little bit of work yet to do. I know we ran Vision of Destruction and need to maybe tune it down just a little bit, because it's a little nuts at the moment in terms of damage, but that'll get taken care of. That's why we're doing that stuff, and it's looking pretty good. So I'm looking forward to being able to show you this stuff in the near future on the live worlds. Just a quick note that we do have our 99 DDO point sale going on through the end of August, so that if you don't yet have Shadowfell Conspiracy or Menace of the Underdark, hey, what are you waiting for? Well, you have till August 31st, so there you go. No hurry per se, but that said, this is going to be something you'll want to take advantage of while you can, if you have not yet done so. So, there you go. We also do have our free questing period running through the end of August.
Among the sounds of turning gears and venting gases comes the rhythmic metal clanking.
Oops. Let's see, what else should I mention? Those are probably the biggest things. We do have a free quest. It's not just going to be the legendary raids in update 47. We are going to have a free quest happening as well. Just sort of a free one-off there. So, you know, I think it'll be cool. But it's not, you know, some massive undertaking. It is a free quest.
Stands a contingent of blade swarms.
And then, of course, all gears are a-turning in the making video games machine for Feywild, which is set for later this summer. We can have a whole lot more information on that, you know, as we get closer to it. Let's see. Hello, Charles, Matt, Mr. Bungle, Johnny over on YouTube, Sean, Suzanne, and Jonah on Facebook. For those who do not care for Hardcore 3, any chance we can get a couple of weeks of Night Revels? I think Night Revels is just gonna not be back until October. Sorry, I just don't know haven't heard of any plan to do an encore for Night Rebels here. For those of you who aren't into Hardcore 3, I think Update 47 will be here sooner rather than later. So hopefully that'll be the thing that you'll want to do if you're not into Hardcore 3. That is set, by the way, to open in the near future. I don't know if I should break the news on that or not. We are tentatively set to go live with Hardcore 3 1 week from today. Stay tuned for a more formal downtime on that. But that's the plan.
Send someone, she says with relief.
There's a hurry scurrying up to 100 DDO points. Takes about 4 hours to get 25. Oh, I don't think that's true, is it? I know people who, when we've opened a new server or whatever, like the hardcore server when it opens up, we have people check it out just to get those free DDO points. And I've seen people do it in like an hour and a half to get to 100. Maybe 2 hours. I mean, 4 doesn't sound unreasonable, but there you go. Your mileage may vary, I guess. And of course, if you are truly a newer player, it's going to take you a lot longer than if you're not, right? So. I mean, we could, I guess, do some event encores this summer or that if we want to, but I haven't really heard of any plans to do that. You know, I think there's nothing really new that would be there, so they would just kind of be the old events again. But I suppose theoretically, if there was enough interest in it, that's something we could certainly do. Alright. Come here, Kylia. There you go. I'll babysit Kalia. Can we get a link when we go to the in-game help? It just says to check the knowledge base. I had to Alt-Tab to report a bug. It would be nice to do it in the game. So if you hit the help menu, there is a button here for new tickets, and you can hit new ticket to submit a bug report or whatever in game. So that is how you could do it in game in terms of a link. The other link externally is help.standingstonegames.com. That'll take you where you can submit a ticket outside of the game. Hopefully that kind of is the right response to your question. So, there's always a concern about, you know, pulling population from the non-hardcore worlds when we do hardcore. We didn't really see much of that for Hardcore 2. Maybe a little bit the first couple of weekends, but for the most part, it hasn't been a huge issue. Again, your mileage may vary, and if you've got, you know, guildies and such that are off on hardcore instead, then that certainly is going to impact you more locally. But globally, it hasn't really been like a mass exit from the live game worlds. I think this particular hardcore season will be a little bit different. We are doing the ability to earn a couple of extra lives for 1. And for 2... Gosh, I am just going to break some news today. It'll be not just VIP only. So, it'll be open to free players and premium players as well. It's going to be a bit of an experimental hardcore Season 3. We're working on the final title of it right now, so I don't have it. Come with me. Alright, Kalia. Crystal Cove is not a legacy event per se. We just haven't updated it in a couple of years now? But it's certainly not dead. It will be coming back in the future with some new stuff and all that too. It's just a matter of fitting it into the development schedule. The not-so-hardcore season? Well... I think what people will find is that it's still pretty tough. You have an opportunity to get 1 extra life at level 8, and then a second extra life at level 16. Of course, that means you have to make it to level 8 and level 16 in order to get those extra lives. And if you were to do a reincarnation or something like that, you will be reset back down to 0 till you hit level 8, in which case you get 1 extra life, and then 16 you get a second extra life. You'll never have more than those 2. Hopefully, I mean, we'll see. Like I said, Hardcore's often been a bit of an experimental server for us to kind of try some different concepts. And part of the thinking on this one is that we saw a little bit of people getting, frankly, a little sick of dying and then having to rerun the Korthos thing over and over and over. So what this will hopefully help with that is that it's going to give people a little bit of a broader base from which to quest. So they're still going to be doing a lot of running through Korthos if you die a lot, like me. But for some players who maybe just make one little mistake and they're like, oh, now I have to go all the way back to Korthos, we're going to give you a second chance here. And lore-wise, it's because of the celestial influence on the hardcore season this year. Or this season. So, you know, choose to run it if you want to. See what you think. But I have a feeling, you know, the people who are really good at hardcore, it's going to be a non-issue for them because they weren't dying anyway. And for the rest of us who were dying frequently, it's going to give us maybe a little bit more of a opportunity to actually do the thing this time around. The only date I could give you, Steve, on Facebook about Update 47 is it's going to be pretty soon. I think it's set for... Well, I don't want to give a date, but it's going to be within about a month or so here. So, Tom, I know that I occasionally hear from people who don't get the buttons to show up on the help menu screen anymore. I don't really have a good answer for that. If I did, I'd love to be able to just say, do this one thing. There's one weird trick, and it suddenly works. What I can tell you is that typically it is due to an issue with web browsers. So the DDO store is the same as for the help menu. And that is run through basically Chromium, which is a sort of Google Chrome extension, sort of some architecture there that is used for that various web component of the game. So if you're having an issue with Chrome, you probably will be having an issue with Chromium, which is probably why you're going to run into an issue with getting the help menu to display. The other main source is people put on, say, third-party pop-up blockers on their browsers, and it tries to basically pop up a DDO store or a help menu, and then that gets blocked. So if you have any kind of pop-up blockers, disable that stuff, see if that helps. Might be worth either reinstalling or uninstalling and reinstalling Chrome. That'll sometimes work. Make sure you've maybe cleaned the cookies on Chrome, particularly if they've been sitting around for a while. That can sometimes help. Those are probably the big three. That's the stuff that we see more than anything else. Otherwise, it could be that you just have a really old, unsupported operating system. So if you're still on, say, Vista 2000 XP, then that could well be the source of your issue, and that's simply a security thing. Those operating systems, up to and including, frankly, Windows 7, are no longer secure. And so there may be some security issue that's preventing us from being able to deliver that page to you.
Don't bother trying to break your way in, said Steelthorn. The entrances to my field headquarters are quite secure. You should worry less about you getting to me, and more about me coming out to get you.
Hey, thanks, Martin. Alright, let me, sorry, I've been a little remiss in taking a look at Twitch chat. I've just been kind of keeping myself busy here. Just a second.
A hastily created barricade blocks the corridor. Warforged artificers rain down death from atop the obstacle.
You can get all of Windows 7 security available through static proxy? Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there's a techie way to do just about anything. I wouldn't still be using Windows 7 if I were you, but you do what you want. Z332, that is an issue that that I was not aware of until recently. When I asked the team about it, they are aware of the issue and are working on a fix for it, but I don't have an ETA on that. Is there a Season 2 Survivors list? No, I dropped that. We dropped that with the end of Season 1, because it was just a ridiculous list that, it just wasn't worth the effort, to be honest. The number of people who hit through level 5, it was something like, what, 10,000 or something last Season 1? It ended up basically breaking the website, so I had to split it into a whole bunch of different pages. So, we opted not to do that for future seasons. We could. It's really just a matter of what is a good use of our engineering time. I don't know that the survivors list really had much value, to be honest. The leaderboards tended to be a better indicator, I think. Can we get a separate forum thread for UI instead of it being linked with audio? Well, yeah. I personally think DDO's forums have way, way too many sub-forums, and I am not a fan. However, I don't always rule by fiat, and I understand the community loves to have their mega list of sub-forums. If we were to separate out UI and audio, that would basically mean we have 2 sub-forums that rarely get posting in, rather than 1. I don't even know when the last time there was an audio post in the sub-forums there, but years, potentially? So I would say it would probably make more sense to just remove the word audio from that forum list and let it be the UI sub-forum. But technically I could, if there was really enough interest in it. If it was up to me, we would have like 4 forums on the website. General, off-topic, announcements and service news, and then... well, okay, maybe a few more. I'd have to probably do builds and servers. And that would be it. That would be the extent of the forums. But I recognize that my opinion is not very popular. What is the purpose of the audio subform? Heck if I know. Because someone in 2006 thought, I don't know, let's make an audio subform. Maybe someone will do something audio-wise. Now that UI skinning is back, yeah, I would expect that to get more posts.
A massive door bars the way to the west side of the fireworks.
Could I answer as to why poison affects some of the greater undead but not lower undead? I cannot answer that question. I don't know. I would need to see specifically what the poison effect is and then what creatures it is affecting. My guess is it's probably either a bug or maybe there's some kind of subtype or something like that that would make sense. We don't actually need to go in there, do we? We just need to find Steelthorn at this point.
Where are you hiding? Demands Steelthorn. No matter.
Yeah, we don't need to deal with this. Let's just find Steelthorn. Yeah, perhaps there was an expectation that the ABC music system might one day hit DDO, or that there would be just people in bands that would want to post DDO music, or whatever. I don't know. Like I said, it's a philosophical difference, I think, to some extent. Some people like lots of subforums, just in case. That way, if they are interested in a specific subject, they can go right to it. I am not one of those people. UI skinning is neat, though. I'm really glad that we have UI skinning back. I recognize that, you know, it's still got a few kind of quirks, like some of the file naming is not very intuitive. I don't know, you know, most of this has just been a... most of this has just been kind of a work of... extracurricular work on the part of an engineer, why we have it back to begin with. And so, we'll see, you know, what kind of support we'll be able to bring to it in the future. But right now, the UI skinning is back, and we have all the elements that we need to have. So, that's cool. And we saw our first Super Cyan, which is a pretty great name. Super Cyan UI skins, one of the first new ones I've seen in quite some time, and that's real cool.
My men will deal with the grit. You must be close, Steelthorn.
A lot of the new skins are posted on the DDO Discord. Do we have lots of new skins happening? I wasn't aware of that. I knew that Blackbird had been updated, and then we have Super Cyan. But if we have a whole bunch of new UI skins that are being posted on a Discord somewhere, I'd love to see that get a little bit wider recognition. Maybe there's something we could do there, huh? Get in touch with me. Let me know so that we can hype it up. If there are missing elements in the new UI package, one that sucks, two, I would say it is not likely that we're going to be able to do a lot of further support. I mean, like I said, this was just someone working on their off hours to bring it back because it's been bugging them that they didn't it hasn't been supported in a while. So I would say the odds of having some kind of significant level of ongoing support is limited. How do you apply the skins you're talking about? There's a link. You go to like lotrointerface.com. You'll download the UI skin, and then you'll pop it into a folder that you may need to create in the DDO install called UI, and then it'll show up under Options. Where is it? Towards the bottom? Yeah, Current User Skin. And I don't have any installed, but if you had it installed, you'd have something set up there. Perhaps some week I can do a tutorial on how that stuff would work. It's in the... yeah, there's a whole bunch, so... Yeah, I'm not a big Discord user, so I didn't really see that stuff. Alright, let me kind of go back to the list here, because I'm not seeing... I haven't really done that. Craig, if you have a character that can't take Bringing the Light because it still tells the character talk to Mary Mosshand, that should be a fixable issue. I just ran Bringing the Light not that long ago. The NPC may not be the same, but the location of that NPC is still in the... well, I need to double check. In-house P.
One of the power crystals.
I am not going through that electric floor. That is a bad idea. In the studio, God, is the office getting all dusty while we're working from home? I bet it is.
One of the power crystals has been destroyed.
Alright, I think I'm caught up on that. Yeah, I always liked the Blackbird skin myself. That was one back when I, before I got hired in that, I used to use the Blackbird skin occasionally. Oops. Shoot. Screwed up. God, I've got Kalia with me.
One of the power crystals has been destroyed.
So we're basically searching around for Steelthorn at this point. You just kind of have to... he wanders the map, so you just got to kind of look around for him. More purple, huh? Okay. Someone wants more purple cosmetic armors. Oh, I know. So you're right. I haven't done the spiel this time around, but let me repeat for those who need it. This character on Galanda is not a real build. Do not try to play this character. You will be disappointed. The entire purpose of this character is to amuse myself with the joke. It is the pew 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 build. And so I go pew pew with my hands and then a third pew with my rune arm. And that is the entirety of the build concept. It is not meant for power or anything else. It's just meant for being stupid. Actually, I think that I received a message from Samus Garobo that there will not be a Follow the Noob today. He's taking some time off and has just some stuff in his life. He's working on a van, or a school bus rather, that's being turned into kind of a tiny house. Can we have dual crossbow visuals with poison, acid, fire effects? I have not heard of plans to add particle effects to those crossbows, but that would be cool. A download for the music. There may be some licensing issues with that. And so the thing is it's less of an issue than it used to be, because Bill Champagne, who is sort of the lead Locho Kiwe, does most of our music nowadays. And so I think there's less of an issue with that than there might otherwise be. But I think there are still some legal hurdles that would need to be crossed for us to be able to offer it as a formal licensed offering. He knows more about it than I do. I'm down for that kind of idea. I think that would be really cool. I don't know what our ability to actually do that is. No, not here. Let's see. Would love to see Shadow Dancer get passive stealth speed increased to run at full speed if you have maxed out stealth speed enhancements.
One of the power crystals has been destroyed.
Maybe? I'll get to the weekend bonus here in a little bit. Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't run into him yet. Wonder where Steelthorn is hiding. No, he just does wander though. Especially as time goes on, right? He wanders more. Here. Okay. Hi, Bill. Where is you? Alright, looks like in the southeast. Wrong way. Yeah, we do have a fun offshoot related to, say, Falconry, Inquisitive, and Vistani. We do have a new Universal Enhancement tree that'll be coming in Feywild. I don't think I can really drop the news as to what that's going to be today, but it's been a longer-term player request that hopefully will be exciting for people when they learn a little bit more about it.
Steelthorn falls, loyal to the last. It's clear from
Yay.
the absolute devotion of your fallen enemies that it will be no easy task to remove the Lord of Blades from this manufactory.
No, not here. Okay. Yeah, all the way to the north if you want to hit the chest. Which I do. I think if we were to redo this quest in 2020, we'd change some of these mechanics around a little bit. But they are what they are, given the age of the content. No answer to your question on cosmetic bags. So, the long-standing answer on a cosmetic bag specifically is that it's going to require a lot of systems work. We essentially need to retype all of the items in the game in order to get the game to recognize that something is a cosmetic that would go into a specific cosmetic bag. So there's kind of a long-standing interest in doing that, but I don't know that that's something that's going to be happening anytime soon. We certainly know that there would be a lot of interest in a cosmetic-specific bag, but the way that cosmetics exist in the game makes making a cosmetic bag pretty difficult to bring to reality. Maybe someday. I definitely don't see DDO having a mobile version. Sorry. Should be able to use the same filter used for item slots? No, unfortunately. That's sort of the crux of the problem. I really don't see DDO ever having a mobile version. I mean, can you imagine trying to play DDO on a cell phone? It seems questionable.
Bodies of Kenneth's soldiers litter the floor of the room ahead. In the gloom ahead stands a contingent of
So
Blades
I would
warriors.
not say that a cosmetic bag is really much of a possibility. I'm sorry. I would never say never on that. It's just, like I said, it's going to involve a complete retype of pretty much... It's as simple as just redoing all the items in the game. Is it possible? Maybe. Is it likely? Probably not.
Among the sounds of turning gears and venting gases comes the rhythmic metal clanking of footsteps.
What's the news you missed regarding Hardcore? We are tentatively set to go live with that next week, about a week from today. Stay tuned for a formal downtime announcement. We'll have a page going up on it. Death, folks. Welcome. Alright. The idea of pausing ship buff timers sounds like something that might be possible. I don't know. Especially given our lengthy timers nowadays. I don't know that it really... Actually, you know what? I bet there is a technical reason. I would need to double check with, say, an engineer to make sure, but my suspicion is the reason that is not done is because, that would involve storing that information on the character, and you would be in danger of some serious character data bloat. If you were to have all of the guild buffs just suddenly be available. The VIP boost is not yet active. That'll be coming in the near future, as soon as we get a good patch for it, frankly. I know that work is underway. We just haven't done... well, it may even be that the work is done, and just hasn't been incorporated into a build yet. But I would expect to see that in the near future.
To destroy the armament crates.
Will the VIP boost be valid in raids? If I recall, the answer to that is yes, but. And by that I mean, remember that it stacks up to 5%. So, but I do think that it is... Oh, actually, I don't know. I need to double check with Sev on that one. I think he's the one that implemented it. I don't know if it's just flat across the board, or if it requires you to be in a party. Sorry. I think the answer is yes, up to 5%, but I could be wrong. Newer custom dice. That's an interesting one. There's no real reason we couldn't do that. There are an awful lot of dice available, but... yeah, I don't see any reason why we couldn't. It would just basically be an art request. Interrupt me, doggies. Oh, yeah. I keep on forgetting that. I also keep forgetting my hurl through hell. Like I say, this character is not really built for quality. It's built for goofiness. Maybe I should learn to play it. Yeah.
You destroyed Hunter and Gatherer, proving that even the Lord of Blade's elite soldiers are no match for you.
Merchandise store, it'll hit Lotro first, because they have fewer licensing issues regarding physical merchandise than DDO does. I'm going to say it's frankly somewhat unlikely DDO will get it. We do not have merchandising rights for DDO. But you never know what'll happen in the future. If you're watching my show for build advice, you probably shouldn't. Other than I can do a pretty mean cleric. I bet this quest is interesting on Heroic. Or, Reaper. Will negative energy burst be available as a spell for this build? I hadn't heard of anything about that. I don't see why not.
That last explosion knocked some of the storage facility's mechanisms loose. Large containment gates appear.
So, I am hopeful that I'll do pretty okay this hardcore season. I mean, I said that on Season 2, and I actually did only slightly better than Season 1. But every time I do it, oh no! There we go. I'm learning. So you should be able to. I can head into House P maybe at the end here and see what's up. Uh-oh. Yay. I will survive.
You've blown most of the corrupted armament crates to smithereens and saved House Cannith from a public relations nightmare.
It's an old character made before Mary was gone. So what happens if you cancel the quest? If you already have it active from way back in the day, you should be able to cancel it and speak to the current NPC for it. I've never heard of someone being unable to take that quest at all. It seems odd to me. Like I said, and I know, like I said, I just ran it within the past couple of weeks. Yeah, let me get up the weekly bonus here. So like I said, at the very least, you should be able to cancel the quest from the quest log.
The Lord of Blades artificers must have figured out how to alter the orders for this House Cannith Warforged Titan. Should be destroyed, or it causes too much havoc.
Well, I think the bigger level cap will spread the player base further. Well, I mean, yes-ish. Sort of by its very nature, it'll spread it a little bit. I don't expect that to necessarily be a significant issue, however. We already have a player base that is spread pretty widely because of reincarnation and that sort of thing. And I don't really see the introduction of legendary levels to... I don't think it's going to be a huge issue for that.
Warforged Titan crumbles to the ground after your assault. It won't be of much use to anybody now.
Alright, we have got, double check the date, Double Mysterious Remnants. Double Mysterious Remnants is our weekly boost, and what that means is twice the chance for Mysterious Remnants to drop when you defeat a champion. And that kicks off late tomorrow morning Eastern Time and runs through Sunday. Double Mysterious Remnants. Has the concept of a mega server fallen apart? Shoemaker says. No, it was never a part. It was never part to begin with. That was a conceptual question that was presented to Sev during the PAX East meetup, and conceptually is something he discussed would be one way from which to do it. But there was never any kind of promise of a mega server or anything like that.
The last Blade-sworn Paladin falls, striking a huge blow to the Lord of Blades operation. You have completed your tasks. Return to the entrance hall of this area to claim your reward.
Would it be possible to have gear sets like we have weapon sets? That would be cool. That would be really cool. The idea is like you could have gear sets similar to that where you could just pop it and retrofit your character. That would be a pretty big engineering task, but that would be a really cool one to do. That would be really neat. Alright, I think we're going to have to wrap up the show in a few minutes here. I don't think we really have time to run that third quest here yet. We'll take care of it next week. We had a Champion Hunter week within the past few months, but certainly could do another one in the near future here. No, Shoemaker. As a matter of fact, Samus Garobo is taking the week off. There will be no following the noob today. Nobody is going to follow me. He actually has the day off here, so he'll be back next week, but not this week. Oh, you talked to Samus and you're filling in. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I guess there will be one then. Shoemaker's going to take over and do some questing here in just a couple of minutes. Very nice. Why call it a weekly bonus when it's just on the weekends? Because it happens once per week. Its frequency is weekly. It is not an indicator that it lasts for the entirety of the week. There are some people who would love to see it be more of a weekday bonus, but frankly, its entire purpose is to drive people to log in on weekends. So there are a few that actually go a little bit longer than that, and we do sometimes expand it, like the Champion Hunter Week does, and sometimes when we got vacation, like holidays and stuff, we'll extend it to that as well. So let me see what happens when you try to... House Fjarlin. Alright, purge the heretics. I got Inquisitor and Gnomon and the Bogwater right here. So you should be able to cancel the quest from your quest journal. For example, go into L, and at the bottom, see Abandon? Click Abandon. And then you should be able to speak with Inquisitor Gnomon here to be able to pick up the quest. Alright. Just a quick note. Actually, where's my voice chat? Alright, there we go. Just a quick note. I will get you a DDO points code in the in-game mail a little bit later on today. Alright, and thank you very much for watching. I'll be back next Wednesday with week 2 of 2 on Galanda. Stay tuned, or maybe I'll do HCL 3, the Hardcore League 3, next Wednesday. I guess we'll figure that one out, depending on the timing of when the Hardcore Season 3 opens up. Regardless, stay tuned. We should have more information about that in the near future. Hope you're having fun, and I will talk to you again in the future. Bye-bye.